Now, the Chinese have been using predatory loans to give to African nations, and they give them the loans with the hopes of them defaulting. They know the country could not pay that back. And when they don't pay back, they take the different things as in the agreement that they want. OK, just like when a lot of people was talking about Zambia last year and saying that Zambia was defaulting on payments and the Chinese was trying to take their power company. So imagine the Chinese controlling all your lights. But what African nation is controlling their lights? You understand? So a lot of us spoke up at that time period about what the Chinese were doing. We made a loud sounding voice, all of us within the social media space who are part of the global black media. And I say global because it's more than just us here. It's those on the continent, the Caribbean, Central America, South America, wherever we are located, spoke up about that. And the Chinese started to back off because I believe if we wouldn't have said anything as a global black media, that would have happened. You have to understand something. We can't depend on CNN, MSNBC. That is white corporate owned media that's meant to disseminate white supremacy and their propaganda. That's why we need to look toward our own voices when we talking about these stories. You look at the situation going on with the Chinese. It's been the global black media that has been covering this and fighting and going against them and reporting on them. It has not been white corporate mainstream media. It has not been them. And shout out to all the people who are out there putting in the work to expose what people are doing that's anti-black and wrong to us. So in Tanzania, the president done a great thing. Now you have President John Magufuli. He canceled a Chinese loan worth $10 billion. And he says that the terms of this Chinese loan agreement only can be accepted by a drunk man. That's how ridiculous the loan was. And you have some people that did not care, who were leaders, about the Chinese just doing whatever they want to do. Look, just give me the money and I'll do whatever. See, now what's going on, and why even this president has canceled this loan, and we'll get to how he done that, is the people are finally starting to stand up. The people on the continent say, listen, you better get out these deals or we're going to have some problems here. These people are not going to come into Africa and take over what we have here. They can do whatever they want to do in China or whatever else. Matter of fact, let them go and take over Europe. Let them do that. But the Europeans are not going to play that with them. So why do you think we're going to sit here and allow them to take over Africa and take over our resources, what belongs to us? No, either you fix it or it's going to be a problem. So this president was stating that his predecessor, Jakaya Kikwete, so they were supposed to construct a port at the Mbegani Creek in Bagamoyo. Now, his predecessor signed the agreement with the Chinese investors to build the port on the condition that they would get 30 years to guarantee on the loan and 99 years uninterrupted lease. So you're giving the Chinese literally almost 100 years of an uninterrupted lease, and you got to pay them back within 30 years. Now, they say it was labeled as a killer Chinese loan, and they have done this everywhere. They've done this in the Caribbean. I've read they also done this in Latin America. They've done this in the continent of Africa because they're trying to take advantage of those economies. See, they don't go and make those kind of loans with the West. Not to say that America don't owe them no money. Not to say that, because they do. But they don't make those kind of loans because they know better. So they were saying that even though before the agreement was made, people was warning, listen, making that agreement going to have dire consequences if you do this. But the previous president did it anyway. So after coming to power, President Magufuli initiated the renegotiation process and pressed investors to bring down the lease period to 33 years instead of 99 years signed by the previous government. So they say the investors didn't meet the deadline issued by Magufuli, and as a result, the agreement was canceled. So they didn't want to renegotiate anything. They wanted their port for 99 years. You understand? They have their own ports in China. Go and be on your ports. Why do you want to be in Africa? See, when you have people that tell you, oh, you know, about Africa, I'm not trying to go over there. The Chinese trying to get everything they can in there and trying to take that. the West are trying to do the same thing. Everybody want to be in Africa, but the people that belongs there don't want to be. I don't know. That's not. I'm not saying any of you who watch and feel that way, but I already know my mindset with it, because I'm definitely gonna have my stake and my lot on the continent. Now, they said China, it has definitely been accused and have lured poor African countries into debt trap by providing loans for much needed infrastructure, because they need the infrastructure. Say, man, we need to get these highways built, but we don't have the money. There's always a capital thing. But you actually do have the money. The resource underneath your feet is your money. That's where it's at. And see, if your leaders are competent enough to extract the resources from your own countries and sell it at market value and bring in the billions and trillions of dollars so you can work on infrastructure, then they need to go. That's what I would say to all my brothers and sisters is, listen, we live in the information age. You can get on Google right now and find out what resources in Tanzania. So a quick Google search for me, Tanzania, your resources that you have, that you guys have every right to and to sell at market value is such. You guys have gold, diamonds, you have iron, coal, nickel, tanzanite, uranium, which uranium is used to make nuclear weapons. Yes, uranium, and natural gas. You guys have all of that can be sold at market prices, and Tanzania would be one of the richest nations on the continent. Well, every nation has natural resources. You guys need to be owning that. You guys need to be extracting that and selling all that at market value. And then you won't need no loans from no Chinese or nobody else. See, this is why everyone is invested in keeping Africa the way it is, not bringing it to first world status. But your resources makes you more than them. You understand? They extract from the African continent and bring it to their nations so they can live good while you guys suffer. And that needs to stop. But the people, and I really believe in my heart, this generation that's living now, the younger generation now, I believe you're going to be the key to turn around that continent. It's going to be you. I think it's finally going to be you. I think business as usual is about to stop. And people, and they kind of sense it. And this is why they're trying to make sure to keep us separated. They don't want us getting together. They don't want us joining. They don't want us coming together as one group of people and understanding we one global Negro. It don't matter what our cultures are, because how they look at us is we're just black. That's all they see us as. And that's fine. That alone could join us together. But look into the natural resources in Tanzania. Look into that. Demand your government nationalize the resources. No private company should be touching any resources in that nation. And you won't need a loan. You could do all your own research. Matter of fact, all the resources there, the government could send all of you guys a check once a month. That's how much resources you guys have. There's a lot of jobs that you can do getting the resources. So look into that. Demand that of your government. And they don't want to do it, get them out of the way and get people in there that want to do it. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about, the situation of the president. He did a great thing. Shout out to him. And this needs to be a domino effect on the continent. Start canceling all those Chinese loans. Tell the Chinese, go back where you come from and start extracting the resources in your own lands and start to bring those trillions and trillions of dollars in, because understand the African continent is the richest continent on the planet. And the moment you realize that and start benefiting from that, you won't need nobody's loans.